Hello all, nice day here in Dublin today. We are getting an unusually warm day for the middle of spring. But in today's video I want to talk about my second part of analysis on the motivation and the underlying concerns of politicians. And today I'm going to be talking about why politicians lie. Okay, so it's a well-known idea that the vast majority of, if not every single one of politicians in modern democracies lie through their teeth. This is used as cover to those who are blatant and absolute liars to justify what they are saying and what they're doing, and also used as a means to basically shift blame to the other side of the equation, whatever that might be. The problem here is the fundamental lack of understanding of what a politician can and can't do. Okay, and this stems back all the way back to even ancient times, such as Gaius and Tiberius Gracchus of the old Roman Republic. These two guys were on basically a quest to gain political power through the Republican voting system, mainly to try and do some good, which was the redistribution of land. But in order to become elected officials, they basically lied through their teeth, and could be seen as the twin fathers of the idea of populism. Politicians, as I said in the last video, are only really motivated by one key goal. They might have secondary goals, but their main goal is to achieve and maintain power. Some of them do this in very blatant ways, and some of them do this in very subtle ways. But in the end of the day, that's what they're after, because without power, they can't do anything else. In order to gain power in most democracies, politicians need voting blocks of people who will vote for them on a consistent level, so that they can enter the political system over a long period of time and enact their other goals and objectives. In order to get these voting blocks to vote for them, the politicians are going to make promises to these blocks to acquire their votes. But when they get into power, those promises sometimes prove to be difficult, if not impossible, to actually enact. This could be for multiple reasons. It could be because they were unaware of how the actual economic or social systems work, and so were not able to enact their promises. It could be because they just promised anything under the sun just to get the votes, and then shifted gears once they were in power. It could be because they're working in conjunction with other politicians who have conflicting goals, and they have to make compromises. Like, there's multiple different reasons as to why politicians can't enact the policies that they promise beforehand. But you need to be very much aware that a political promise is not really a promise, like in the same way that we think of promises between people. Political promises are more like a wish list, more like a desire to be able to do something. And once you treat it like that, you can basically start to weed out those who have got desires that conflict with your worldview, or that can promote your worldview. You need to also when dealing with political promises, you also have to be aware that bad actors are going to basically point the finger to the other side very quickly when their promises don't come about, and spread the conclusion that, oh well, they didn't promise it either. They made promises and they couldn't keep it. They made promises and they went back on them, when they're talking about the other side, of course. This is very much evident in the American political system, where politicians really love to blame the other side for what they did and for the troubles that they're having in their current current administrations. It's not to say that the previous administrations or the politicians from the other side of the equation don't have any blame at all, but when you're at the wheel of a car, you are the one responsible, not the people who were there before, not the people who are sitting at the back. You are the one responsible for guiding that car. And the same goes if you are in a position of power with any political system. How can I equate this to Ireland? Well, like everywhere else, we've had politicians that have promised the sun, moon and stars to us. We've been promised a free healthcare system since I was a child, and still hasn't come about. We've been promised the metro system since the early 2000s, still hasn't come about in Dublin. We've been promised a huge amount of house construction, which still hasn't come about either. And the only thing you can really do as voting, as a citizen who votes, is to basically hold the politicians to account. The next time a vote comes up, check the policies, question the people that are there, ascertain which policies are actually doable, which ones are not, hold the politicians to account when they don't obey their promises, and boot them out, no matter whether they lie or not, whether are adamant liars or not. Boot them out as soon as they start to blame somebody else for their own inadequacies, because it's only this way that we can get the politicians we deserve, rather than the politicians we have been landed with. So, why do politicians lie? Because it's a way of getting votes. Enough people will believe them to get them into power, and then once they're in power, they can basically ignore or go back on any of the promises that they've made before. So in my next video, I'm going to be talking about some of the reasons why politicians can't enact their promises, in some cases, or either don't want to, refuse to, or are unable to. Have a nice day.